प्ले नहीं हुआ। एनीवे, हेलो एवरीवन, मैं इंट्रो प्ले करने वाला था बट साला इंट्रो प्ले नहीं हुआ। आप भी तो बच्चों। हाँ, तो मैंने किया या किसी ने?
अरे
हाँ, अभी
प्ले
बोलो।
हुआ है।
हाँ,
हाँ,
अभी
आवाज आ रही है।
अच्छा, प्ले हुआ है। मेरा आज पता नहीं क्या हो रखा है मेरे पीसी के साथ। मतलब जो चीजें मैंने आज तक अपने पीसी पे नहीं देखी हैं वो सब देख लिया मैंने आज। पता नहीं कुछ स्पेशल ओकेजन है, कंप्यूटर वर्ल्ड की दिवाली है आज। सब
Have you
कुछ हो रखा
discovered some hidden stash of porn in your PC?
है। कुछ ऐसा हो रखा है जो मैंने पहले कभी नोटिस नहीं किया है। पहले कभी मेरे पीसी के साथ ऐसी चीजें नहीं हुई है, लेकिन आज सब कुछ देख लिया मैंने। और जस्ट टू इन्फॉर्म पीपल एज वेल, अभिजीत हैज अ रियली बैड केस ऑफ बवासीर। तो जरा उसको बेस्ट विशेस दे दीजिएगा ट्विटर पे जाके, मेक श्योर। बाकी हम लोग तो हैंडल कर ही लेंगे बाकी चीज। अच्छा, दिस वन इज फनी। मैं बहुत टाइम से ढूंढ रहा था इफ देयर अ गुड लेट कमेंट। दैट वाज फेयरली क्रिएटिव, वेल डन। इस बार ना हम लोगों को इस बार हम लोगों को ट्राई करना चाहिए फॉर श्योर कुशल के वी कैन डू एटलीस्ट वन पॉडकास्ट इन पर्सन, क्योंकि
करेंगे
ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन तो हमने बहुत किया है, पिछले साल कर नहीं पाए, बट इस साल वी शुड ट्राई कि एटलीस्ट एक पॉडकास्ट हम लोग इन पर्सन कर पाए।
करेंगे पक्का।
अरे मैं क्या करूं यार, उसका उसकी तबीयत खराब है तो मैं क्या करूं उसमें। उसको जरा सोशल मीडिया पे सांत्वना दो और गाली दोनों दो, ताकि अगले
उसको
हफ्ते वो
उल्टियां
आ
आ
जाए।
रही हैं।
उसको टट्टियां आ रही है, अब उसकी टट्टी का हम क्या कर
उल्टियां।
सकते हैं। अच्छा, उल्टी आ रही
हम्म।
टट्टी आ रही है। हाँ, उसको उल्टियां आ रही है। वो भाई गुड न्यूज देने वाला है हम लोग को।
हम्म।
तो हम ही लोग शुरू करते हैं। तो डिड यू सी दिस होल थिंग जो हुआ है जैक डॉर्सी और उसके साथ, मोदी के साथ, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट पे जो उसने लगाया है। यू नो, आई यूज्ड टू थिंक कि ये जैक डॉर्सी जो है ना, ये इसको कुछ पता वता नहीं है बेसिकली। जो इसके अंडरलिंग्स हैं वो ट्विटर को चलाते हैं, ये यहाँ से वहां खाली चैरिटी करता है। बट judging by this interview, I don't know what to make of it. Do I make of it that ये बंदा, इस बंदे को इसके एम्प्लॉइज ने ये सब पढ़ाया है, या फिर दिस इज हिज डूइंग हिमसेल्फ? लेट मी जस्ट प्ले व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट। सो लोगों को अगर पता नहीं है तो ट्विटर का जो एक्स सीईओ है जैक डॉर्सी, उसने इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग कमेंट्स दिए हैं, एलिगेशंस लगाए हैं। सो आई वांट पीपल टू लिसन टू इट एंड देन वी कैन गो ओवर इट। So he was on this show called Breaking Points, और वहां पे this is what he said.
Believe in free speech. Jack, one of the things, you're in a unique position. You believe in free speech. That's something I've never doubted about you. You also are in the unique position of having run one of these companies. Can you give us some anecdotes, as you alluded to, foreign governments and the pressures that you were under, if able, just to give the audience an idea of what it is really like to be in a position to have some of the most powerful people literally on earth coming to you and saying, demanding things of your company? And as someone with, how did you navigate that?
India, for example, India is a country that had many requests of us around the farmers' protest, around particular journalists that were critical of the government, and it manifested in ways such as we will shut Twitter down in India, which is a very large market for us. We will raid the homes of your employees, which they did. We will shut down your offices if you don't follow suit. And this is India, a democratic country. Turkey.
So basically, some very, serious allegations कि भाई हमारा ये बंद करा देंगे, वो बंद करा देंगे, लोगों के घर में रेड करा देंगे, which was an interesting one, which was something that I wasn't aware of earlier, कि हम लोगों का घर वार आपके बंद करा देंगे. Another thing
मेरा
that he
तो
said,
क्वेश्चन जैक डॉर्सी से नहीं है, मेरा तो क्वेश्चन सागर और क्रिस्टल से है.
I wanted to come to that, but मेरा पहले उससे भी क्वेश्चन है कि यार ये तो यार वेरीफाइबली गलत है ना, कि कब where was this news? कहाँ है ये news कि Indian government ने Twitter employees के घर को raid किया? He said which they did. He said they threatened to raid the houses of the Twitter employees, which they did. कहाँ है? Where's that news?
नहीं है.
Yeah, there's a very good thread. I want to give a shout out to this guy. Very good thread by Surya Kanegaonkar. He made a whole thread. For the government, Jack wants the public to know the context of the Twitter files, but not how disinformation was used to stoke violence in India. And I think this is an important context as well. Some of the accounts that the government was targeting were the ones who were spreading ki jo government hai, it is systematically killing people, ethnically cleansing the Sikhs and stuff like that. And these are, a lot of those accounts were Khalistani affiliated accounts that were trying to make sure that some kind of violence happens during the farmers' protests. That is an important piece of context as well. And finally, Jack seems to be lying by saying that the government raided the homes of the employees. A quick search shows that only the Twitter offices received a visit from the agencies. There are no reports of individuals being raided in their homes. I have also not seen any reports of individuals, Twitter employees being raided. If somebody knows, please Twitter pe hamare saath share kar do so we can make sure.
And this is such a beautiful point. BBC also claimed free speech before the tax fraud.
That's true.
And now, by the way, BBC is on record admitting that हमने tax evasion की है India में.
बोला भी है उन्होंने. Exactly.
So what are we supposed to do? Like, what are these companies above the law?
Yeah, that's what they claim. कि free speech का मतलब हुआ कि we are above the law. And funnily enough, they're talking about, Jack is saying that India is a democracy. How can a democracy like India ask us to take down Twitter accounts or take down certain amounts of content? Didn't Twitter do exactly the same thing after the 2020 insurrection in America?
What was the Twitter files all about? The Twitter files was an expose of what Jack Dorsey and his team were doing when he was the CEO.
Yeah. They did exactly the same thing. The US government said कि ये accounts है जो misinformation फैला के दंगे करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Shut down these accounts, and that's exactly what Twitter did.
Yeah,
Twitter took fucking Trump off.
Yeah, I can empathize with a Twitter or any platform CEO that this is a hopeless no-win situation. That I can empathize with.
Yeah.
Actually, it is very true because no matter what you do, there's no perfect solution to this mess. That I understand. That Twitter was in this mess from day one. The moment they created this platform where people can come and spew their thoughts, no matter what you say, I understand that aspect of it. So in that sense, whether it's Jack Dorsey or it's the current owner, Elon Musk or anybody, they have my sympathy in that sense. But to say that, a democracy like India, Are Baba, the least you can do is not lie. But see, this is my problem with bad journalism. Now, I don't know what Crystal and Sagar
Before you come to that, I just want to play this one last thing. There's another shout out to Open Letter at Open Letter YT. A Twitter pe usne thread dala hai. So he said, Jack Dorsey has made big claims about the Indian government's request on content removal. During 2021 to 22, Twitter received 47,572 legal demands to remove content specifying almost 200,000 accounts. And they came from 44 different. He singled out India and all the lamentation about kaise democracy
India, and then he later on mentions Turkey too, right? He said India because Sagar was on the show.
Yes. So 97% of these requests came from Japan, Russia, South Korea. Japan democracy nahi hai. South Korea democracy nahi hai. India ke to 8% hai yaar sirf. South Korea and Japan demanded more. Why not single them out?
That's understandable. Na? Indians don't use Twitter all that much.
Yeah. But why not single Japan out? Japan has more demands than requests than Twitter.
They're an ally, and the host of the show was not of Indian origin. It's very clear the Indian angle was brought in to basically give credence to the whole idea that Sagar and Jati is there on the show. There is no other reason I feel that is the case, and Modi hatred is quite deep-seated in this lot. But see, again, my question...
I want you to talk about it,
Yeah, so what was Sagar and what was Crystal Ball doing? What were these two doing? Here's a CEO making a claim And if you're interviewing this guy, now I know Sagar might be friends with some of these people. He must be friends with these crypto bros also. And that's
Yeah.
not my problem. That's Sagar's problem. I like Sagar. For the record, before I criticize him, I want to say I like him. I think he does good work. I think he means well. But the point is that, boss, when somebody makes such outlandish statements on your platform, which is quite a big platform, it is your responsibility to counter question that person.
Yeah.
Twitter publishes all its transparency reports. All you had to do was look at the transparency report and figure out that what he's saying is a load of rubbish. That
And
India was not
the whole
unique.
point of that show, the breaking point, the whole USP of that show, according to their hosts, is that we don't just toe the line of any political party. We hold every politician's and leader's feet to the fire. That's the whole USP of the show. It didn't.
And they
I
have.
haven't
They
seen
have
the
criticized
entire
the Biden
interview. I'm sure they have in
administration.
the past. I'm sure they probably did during the course of this interview as well. But I feel like this is something that is such an easily verifiable lie that there should have been at least some pushback from the hosts.
It's a much larger thing in American discourse. Sham, this year also I have come here. I have observed this. India is a convenient stick to beat for these people. At somewhere deep down inside, right? There are no repercussions if you lie about India.
Yeah.
What is the nuisance value of the Indian community here? Nothing. Even if you look at the Indian community barely has any nuisance value.
Yeah.
That is point number one. So they literally get away by lying. They lie with such relative ease. And even the good content creators over here, people whom even I consume, they just don't know anything about Indian politics. Let's not just focus on this. The
Yeah.
best example of this was Richard Dawkins and his obnoxious tweet. That is the best
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Now, is Richard Dawkins a bad guy? No, he's a
Yeah.
legend. Richard Dawkins has changed immense number of lives through his work, especially initially, whether it's his 3 books. I always say it's The Selfish Gene, The Blind Watchmaker, and The Extended Phenotype. They should be taught to every young child. Every young kid growing up should read these 3 books of Richard Dawkins. I was never a fan of his new atheism and his militant atheism. Even though I am a disbeliever myself, I never liked that kind of rubbish. But the point is, his work in the field of evolutionary biology is something that should be admired and appreciated. But this incessant urge about disinformation and misinformation,
Yeah.
and then opining on everything under the sun, there are 2-3 layers to it. I think Western commentators like to feel good about themselves by shitting on other countries.
Yeah.
I genuinely have come to this conclusion. It's a very normal human behavioral pattern कि आप किसी और को नीचा दिखाते हो क्योंकि आपको खुद को अच्छा फील करना है अपने बारे में कि कम से कम हम इनके जैसे तो नहीं है.
Yeah.
वो एक बड़ी देखो, हम भी करते हैं. कई बार हम वो पाकिस्तान के साथ करते हैं, कई बार हम वो बांग्लादेश के साथ करते हैं, कई बार हम लोग वो श्रीलंका. तो मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं कि हम नहीं करते हैं एज इंडियंस. हर इंसान करता है. मगर वेस्ट में ना एक यूनिक चीज है, उनको लगता है वो कभी नहीं करते. वो
To
है
be
ना,
fair though, to be fair, सारे इंडियंस ऐसा नहीं, सारे इंडियंस ऐसा करते हैं, but there's a decent chunk of Indians who actually know what they're talking about when it comes to Pakistan or Bangladesh. But I feel
Yes.
like there's a much larger number of Westerners who don't have a single fucking clue कि इंडिया में चल क्या रहा है.
see,
जरूर पेल देंगे.
and this is where my, it's like I get irritated the most. I don't know a lot about American foreign policy beyond a point. So I call people whom I question on my podcast and I learn. I don't pretend to be an expert opining on things I don't know about. I've seen this with American political commentary. Whether it's American political commentators like Kyle Kulinski, whether it's American political commentators on the right
On the
wing
right.
too, they are way too opinionated and they are so fixated in their views. And if you challenge them, this has been my experience. If you challenge them and you tell them, actually tu chutiya hai, tere ko kuch malum nahi hai, tu seek, they get even more offended and they double down. They double down.
How dare you? Yeah.
How dare you question my integrity? How dare you question my ability to comment on you?
Yeah.
First of all, I will, because you don't know anything about my country. If I was to put you in a test and give you 3 pages, I can assure you, you give me American politics ka test, I give you Indian politics ka test, I think I'll still get a passing mark. You will always fail.
Yeah.
You will always fail. And this applies to Indian origin, American
Oh, yeah.
political commentators.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the white man. I'm talking about brown kids born and raised here. They know nothing, Baba.
Yeah.
इनको कुछ घंटा मालूम है. इनको ये भी नहीं मालूम है कि कौन सी कास्ट के वोटिंग पैटर्न क्या है, कास्ट की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी क्या है, ओबीसी क्या है,
उतना
एसटी
तो
क्या है,
उतना
एसटी
तो
क्या है.
बहुत दूर है यार. You ask them कि भाई बीजेपी कैसे जीत रही है, तो the only answer they know is कि suddenly overnight सारे हिंदू सारे मुसलमानों से नफरत करने लगे हैं. That is the only reason they have. और कोई
They don't
reason
know
नहीं है
the
BJP
journey of BJP. They don't read books on India. Like people like us who read books on American politics. We follow American politics. We read books. We try to have informed opinions. We look at surveys. We try to again, to use evolution as an example, and the great Richard Dawkins. You know, they did a survey. Pew actually did a survey in the United States of America looking at religions and their resistance to evolution. 81% Buddhists and 80% Hindus thought evolution is true.
Yeah.
The highest religious groups that actually believed in evolution to be true are those.
Yeah.
Then that article that came in Nature was a blatant lie. Listen, I was outraging about evolution being pushed, not removed, pushed to grade 11 way before any of these assholes were.
Yeah.
I was crying since April. And I was like, ye kyo kar rahe ho, kyo kar rahe ho, kyo kar rahe ho? And this is the pattern every single time. This is the pattern of American political commentary on India. And I'm sorry, I'm not obliged to respect your commentary. I am going to call you what you are, mediocre. You're mediocre at best. And I'm not surprised that people like Jack Dorsey, you know what this is? I came on Breaking Points. These are friendly interviewers. They will ask me a question. I will give them an answer. They will not do a follow-up. It is quite clear. Sagar could have followed up, right?
Yeah.
Sagar could have. Okay, Crystal Ball cannot. Sagar could have, right? Sagar
No, but
didn't.
why
Right?
should Crystal Ball not? Like, why should Crystal Ball not know? You know, she knows everything that's going on. Brazil के बारे में सब कुछ पता है. Foreign interventionism के बारे में सब कुछ पता है. Then why not? If you're going to talk to Jack Dorsey and he brings up India, then why not follow up? Is this true? ये हुआ है, वो हुआ है. Just, you know, if you want to hold, you know, these people's feet to the fire, then I think those kinds of follow-up questions are important. And especially when it comes to like China, you know, those kinds of countries, Middle Eastern countries, you should know. मेरे को इंडिया के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता should not be an excuse for somebody जो global events को often cover करता है.
Not only that, it's lazy opinionating. And because the problem in today's world is everybody who has high number of subscribers or clout in field X, they end up opining on field Y, field Z, field A. And because of the halo effect, they benefit a lot. And it creates a toxic climate of disinformation. And it makes life hard for, look, it's very clear from whatever I have understood is that 2014 results did not go down well with the Indian origin intelligentsia, which are basically Marxists, who are in India and America and other parts of the West also. And they were not happy. And they have consistently peddled lie after lie after lie about India. And the Washington Post and the New York Times reportage on it is quite an evidence of that.
Yeah.
Like the Economist will give one friendly headline and 20 hostile headlines about India. That is also there. And in such an environment, see, this is their frustration about India choosing Modi. And in their mind, see, how does the Western mind work? Who's the bad guy? Who are we supposed to hate? This is how the average discourse is. Like, who's the bad guy? This is how the left mind works. They think, who am I supposed to hate in that country? This is the average leftist way of looking at it. You know how you should actually look at it when you're analyzing a country? Okay, who are the players in this country? Okay, what do they stand for? What are their policy documents? What are their stands in policy perspective? So where does the entire political spectrum stand? If you wanted to learn, you would do that. These people don't want to learn.
I feel like there's a certain level of elitism.
Oh, yes.
Rahul Gandhi will come to the US and Rahul Gandhi will say, "Oh, look, we love you so much. You are the beacons of democracy." Like that's what he said, right? Like the beacons of democracy, like the UK and the US. You guys, we look up to you so much, and you are just watching what's happening in India. Why aren't you intervening and overthrowing the Modi government and shit like that? So they like it a lot. There's that elitism, right? That they really like it when an Indian, like a mainstream Indian politician, comes to their country and basically just kisses their ass, brown noses them. कि आप तो इतने अच्छे हो, आपने हमको सब कुछ दिया है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद इंडिया में देखो क्या हो रहा है. And to be fair, the BJP also has a pretty significant amount of, what do you call that, inferiority complex when it comes to these countries. I mean, they'll often bend over backwards to get an interview with the New York Times. But at the same time, उतने level का brown nosing नहीं है जितने level का, let's say, Rahul Gandhi करता है. And they're more willing to associate themselves with ideologies that the West isn't familiar with or isn't necessarily friendly towards. तो वो नाराज हो जाते हैं कि यार यहाँ ये राहुल गांधी, वी वांटेड राहुल गांधी जैसे बंदे जो हमारे यहाँ आते, हमारी इंडिया को गाली देते हैं कि सर, राहुल गांधी इज दैट टूरिस्ट फ्रॉम मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस, hungry people, shame, बिल्कुल उस तरह वाले, poor people, hungry people. And Rahul Gandhi shows them poor people, hungry people. But Modi and BJP wants to show them a slightly different India, an India that is moving in a different direction. And it seems like कि उनका जो elitist mindset है वो handle नहीं कर पाता इस बात को.
I think the blame lies at Indians, and
Oh, yeah.
the perfect example of that, I want everyone to watch this. All of you should watch this. This was a talk given in 2010 by Ramachandra Guha, where he
Wow.
says 10 reasons why India
Holy
will not
fuck.
and must not become a superpower.
Must not.
Become a superpower. Sham,
Holy fuck.
once again, this is the reason why the discourse on India is the way it is. I want to leave this image on the screen for a while for all our viewers. A few 100,000 people are going to watch this, and then a few thousand are going to download the podcast also. So once again, for the audio ones, I am reading. Ramachandra Guha gave a talk in 2010 which said 10 reasons why India will not and must not become a superpower.
Wow. That's
You
crazy.
cannot hate the West.
This is one of the most popular champagne historians of India, by the way.
This is the most popular guy in India. Like, when Indian intellectuals will be discussed, Ramachandra Guha will be named.
Yeah.
Ramachandra Guha literally believes why India will not and must not become a superpower. I still understand the will not, but what bothers me the most is must not.
Yeah.
Because the must not is the answer to everything that happens in our discourse.
Like, seriously, like even the biggest opponent of the Chinese Communist Party, let's say a Chinese American whose parents migrated to America because they hated living under the communist regime, even that guy will say, okay, look, I hate the Communist Party, I hope they go away, but I want China to be successful. I want China to be a rich, prosperous, strong country. I can't imagine any Chinese that says, I want China to be a poor, decrepit hellhole where millions and millions live in abject poverty. I can't imagine any Chinese person saying that.
This is why I'm leaving this on the screen for all of you to digest. Since the early 60s till pretty much 5 years before, most intellectuals in India actually believed this. This comes from a deeply self-hating, India-hating, Hindu-hating, hating your own culture mindset. It genuinely believes India and Indian culture is a curse on humanity.
Yeah.
It genuinely comes from a very absurdist Marxist worldview. And I repeat, you cannot blame Americans and Canadians when your own premier intellectuals Even Ben Shapiro consumes Ramachandra Guha.
Yeah.
All your premier intellectuals in the West, all they can do, the least they do is read a book,
Yeah.
and they read these people. I'm not saying Ramachandra Guha is a bad human being, but I certainly have a problem with a person who literally thinks that India should not become a superpower. This is the same lot that has a problem. I am very critical of the BCCI,
Yeah.
but I am not critical of the fact that India dominates cricket in the administrative realm. That is something I don't have a problem with.
Oh, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So this mindset that a lot of these people have, and they are the convenient people
Yeah.
off of whose back the West shoots.
Yeah.
Every time you go and point the Westerner, you're wrong, they will tell you your own people say that.
Yeah.
They live in your own country. They are your premier intellectuals. And to go back to Salvatore Babones, where he basically said, I mean, I don't know if it was a slip of tongue or whatever in the India Today conclave, where he said Indian intellectuals are anti-India. How
Oh,
can
yeah.
you blame the ratings?
Oh, yeah.
Your own intellectuals are grossly anti-India.
I don't think that was a slip of the tongue. I think that's a completely accurate statement of fact.
Yeah. And this is the problem with the entire discourse in this country.
Yeah.
All the people who the West considers accredited, right? They all hate India, and they all believe in this absurd idea that India should not dominate. So what is happening in Twitter is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
The Twitter CEO saying what he's saying. Why did he say what he said? Because there's just no news. There are no repercussions for saying anything about India.
Yeah.
Try this with China and see the repercussions.
Yeah.
The Houston Rockets, when they criticized China, they saw the repercussions.
Yep.
And then they stopped. NBA will do Black Lives Matter 24/7.
Yeah.
Will they talk about Uyghur Muslims? Look at LeBron James and how he talks about China. Look at how John Cena had to give an apology in Mandarin.
In Mandarin. उसका तो brand ही बर्बाद हो गया यार after that apology.
So
He was
think
all this, America
rationally.
#1, so strong. His whole brand was being strong. And then he's apologizing to the Chinese over just one small comment in Mandarin. And multiple times. उसका तो brand ही बर्बाद हो गया.
Exactly. So let us get real. I am not giving Jack Dorsey a free pass.
Yeah.
I have deep issues with people like Jack Dorsey and the kind of mindset they have, and with the relative ease with which they shit on India without sharing any facts. This is the same man who took up the placard, smash Brahmanical patriarchy. बोल गांडू तेरे को मतलब बाकी जगहों पे तेरे को patriarchy नहीं दिखती है? तेरे को किसी ने placard दे दिया, तूने उठा लिया?
patriarchy तो दिखेगी नहीं ना सर को.
हाँ,
Because who wants to live like Nupur Sharma? Who wants to live a life of Nupur Sharma?
मतलब बोल उल्लू का पट्टा साला कुछ भी बकवास करता है. And then somebody from the tech world will be like, अरे तू काय को गरिया रहा है जैक को? Jack is a nice guy. And I'm talking about very, very senior folks in the tech world. I don't give a fuck.
How does it matter if Jack's a nice guy, if Jack is making deliberately, wrong comments, which are easily verifiable, कि ये बिल्कुल झूठ है. क्यों मार रहा है फिर इस तरह के comments? Why is he trying to malign an entire country? Why is he trying to malign an entire administration just to score some social brownie points for himself?
And all the American lessons can just fuck off, because our elections year after year, state, municipal, panchayat or national elections, have the most seamless transfer of power. Our election results come out faster. तुम तुम पहले अपनी काउंटिंग तो सुधार लो, तुम्हारी डेमोक्रेसी.
अरे यार अभी तक there is a big chunk of the population that still thinks the election was stolen today. We are 1 year away from the next cycle of elections, and still people think that the election was stolen.
Yeah, I've had enough of these people and their sermonizing fucking lessons, man. We don't need your fucking lessons.
Yeah.
We are a democracy. Are we flawed? Yes. But everybody is flawed. I'm not even saying India is better than America. If we did a mano a mano comparison, America would come
I don't
up
like
with,
doing I don't like doing that stuff in general. People are like, I'm not the kind of person that says, "Arey, India number one. India ने 5000
No.
साल पहले Wi-Fi इजाद कर दिया था." That's not the kind of people we are.
no.
But we are saying कि यार जो सही है वो सही है, जो गलत है वो गलत है.
Give
अगर कोई
factual
चूतिया ओपिनियन दे रहा है
information.
तो वो चूतिया ओपिनियन है.
Yeah, give factual information.
Yeah.
Give information that is borne out by bare bones fact. Back your evidence. Back yourself with evidence is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, just shut the fuck up and say, I don't have any opinion.
Yeah.
Can't comment. No comment. Just like Richard Dawkins did when Piers Morgan asked him on Islam.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where you are. Yeah. And there was a comment from, I think, Srihari, I think it was related to this. He said, still the foreign commentator should have the common sense to listen to multiple voices or people who criticize Guha if they are honest.
Well, the problem is, and this is the problem with I'm glad that Srihari has raised this question, and this is the problem with the Hindutva side. The Hindutva side has the single largest proportion of cringe commentators on social media. और उसका रीजन है, परसेंटेज में हम लोग सेम होंगे. Cringe commentary percentage of America, Canada, UK, India, percentage wise will be the same. But here's a genuine problem. We hump a lot more. So there are 1.4 billion of us. Now, out of that, many are still on social media. So what happens is, now there are few like me, Sham, Abhijit, Vikram Sampath, many others who make points in a much better manner, which are fact-based. But to sift through that, an average person, see, this is what I hear from people. So you have to learn to listen to people. They say, to get to you, I have to go to a mountain of poop. Where people are calling me things I didn't even understand they're calling me.
Yeah.
Try and understand. And these are people who are actually not opposed to you in any sense. Like Razib tells me all the time. He's like, man, the attacks of Hindu Twitter are just cringe. And at the same time, he says half the things I don't understand because they're saying it in their language.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that. कि कोई अंग्रेज आया कुछ बोल के गया इंडिया वाला बैक बैंचो तो
अरे तो वही हुआ था ना, वो गोरे का वो वीडियो याद नहीं है, वो टूरिज्म कर रहा था, वो कीवी गोरा बाग गोरा मदरचोद तो मदरचोद.
I kind of like that. That's very based. I like that. That's good.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
So maybe we also need to produce better quality rebuttals. There are now another side to this is, once the person figures out who this is, they still don't listen to that person, and they conveniently use the cringe commentator as a stick to beat the entire movement. Now that's dishonest.
That's dishonest. Like how many times has any, like, I really don't know how many times these like big left-wing shows ya jo bhi ho, breaking points type ke, how many of these people have maybe spoken to somebody like a Vikram Sampath? You know, when there's a discussion about Savarkar, how many times is Vikram Sampath invited to the table?
There are reasonable, sensible news and politics commentators in the non-left in India. I consider myself to be one. You are there. Abhijit is there. Anand Ranganathan is there. There are many others who are reasonable, sensible, socio-political commentators in India. There are tons. Harsh is there.
Yeah.
On economics, you even have Rajiv Mantri.
And that's the tricky part.
Names after names.
Sorry to cut across there, Kushal, but that's the tricky part, because one of the biggest lies that are spread, or one of the biggest, let's say, criticisms in the West that are made about the BJP government, one of the common ones is that this is a Brahmanical party and ye Brahmanical supremacy, or they're fighting very hard to maintain, the oppressive caste structures of Hindu society. This is why the Hindus vote for the BJP, because that's what they're trying to do. And I've heard this argument from the left. I've heard this argument from the right. I've heard this argument from people like Douglas Murray. Douglas Murray जैसा बंदा जिसको हर चीज में ज्ञान पेलना है. हमारे initially started कि अच्छा ब्रिटेन और इस्लामिज्म में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, why aren't Islamists, you know, Muslim तरीके से assimilate क्यों नहीं हो रहे ब्रिटिश सोसाइटी में, that's how he got famous initially. उसके बाद भाई साहब हर चीज पे ज्ञान देने लगे हैं. I've seen him do some gyan on India as well, where he's saying कि this is the most caste society, ये है वो है, their caste society is worse than transatlantic slavery and shit like that. And I've seen this from both sides. And
But who will
थोड़ी सी
Douglas
भी-
Murray cite
Huh?
as an source?
I'm sure it's some
Indians.
left-wing source. Yeah.
Indians. He will cite.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. But then that's what I'm saying कि यार वो भी ठीक है अगर आपको वो भी करना है, but क्या आप थोड़ी सी और ड्यू डिलिजेंस कर सकते हो? Is it possible for you to do a little bit more due diligence? Because maybe as an intellectual or as a media house or as a journalist, you notice कि यार I only see one thing when I talk about India, when I talk about the BJP, when I research the BJP, when I ask my friends about the BJP, I only hear one thing: hates Muslims and want to maintain the oppressive caste structures. Okay. Is this true though? Is there anywhere where I can find an opposing point of view? Is it possible to find an opposing point of view? Is there an opposing point of view? I don't see enough of that at all.
They will never do that, because like I said, you start with the mindset. The mindset is, who am I supposed to hate? The starting mindset is, who am I supposed to dislike? The starting mindset is not, where do I go to learn?
Yeah.
My mindset when I learn about American and Canadian politics is not, who am I supposed to dislike? My mindset is, where do I learn? What are their policies? Who am I supposed to support or oppose? And I have no dog in this fight, right?
Hmm.
That kind of an attitude. They don't, because
Yeah.
the Anglo-American enterprise has a deep savior complex. And it stems from their monotheistic upbringing, which
Yeah.
is very much embedded in that savior mindset. They want to save the world.
Yeah.
Both the left and the right in America want to save you in different ways. Always remember this. They are out to save you. And I'm not saying this in a pejorative way. I'm saying it in a very matter-of-fact way. They
Yeah.
don't even see how annoying it can get to the other person who does not want to be saved. But they want to save you, because that's what they were anointed to do, in the case of the right wing by their God, and in
Yeah.
the case of the left wing by their secular God. They
Mhm.
just keep saving people, and they don't get this, how deeply monotheistic they are in their way. It's annoying for people who don't come from monotheistic cultures, especially Hindus who don't do this. They don't go out there, which is why yesterday I wrote that tongue-in-cheek tweet that I need to save monotheists from monotheism.
Yeah.
And it riled people up. I know it did. I know some of these people follow me.
Yeah.
They see what I do. All I do is I learn from them and I use their language on them. And then I ask them this question in a subtle way. कैसा लगा? अच्छा लगा जब तुम्हारे ऊपर किया किसी ने? मैं तो मोनोथीस्ट के साथ मोनोथीइज्म करता हूं. मैं नॉन मोनोथीस्ट के साथ नॉन मोनोथीइज्म करता हूं. I just believe in giving what they understand. So चलो ठीक है, अभी जो हो गया सो हो गया, अभी मीमी करते हैं.
चलो मीमी करते हैं.
Yes.
और
बहुत
सुधर जा
दुखी
जैक
किया
डॉर्सी.
जैक डॉर्सी ने. So पहला वाला है,
अरे पहला जो अभिजीत ने भेजा था वो वाला दिखाओ ना, जो ट्विटर पे व्हाट्सएप पे.
कौन सा? तू मेरे
रवीश
को वो
कुमार
लिंक
वाला
कर
था
देना
ना?
डीएम, क्योंकि वो व्हाट्सएप खुल नहीं रहा है मेरा
अच्छा
PC
मैं
पे.
कर देता हूँ, तब तक बाकी दिखाओ.
ठीक है. Okay, this one is by Pahadi Mando on Twitter.
आकाश बनर्जी एके देशभक्त got invited by Oxford Union. शाबाश. तो
नहीं, वो
यार
तो ठीक.
तो दोस्त लोग हैं यार. ऑक्सफोर्ड एंड हिम आर मेड फॉर ईच अदर. तो दोस्त हैं
वो तो ठीक है.
यार. ऑक्सफोर्ड का एक बंदा है, यू रिमेम्बर दैट गाय फ्रॉम ऑक्सफोर्ड जिसने रश्मि सावंत को परेशान किया था, जो सम असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर था ना वहां पे, या समथिंग लाइक दैट. ऐसे तो लोग भरे हुए हैं ऑक्सफोर्ड में. तो दिस इज हार्डली सरप्राइजिंग. Followers listening to AIM practice his vocal skills on Twitter. ये भेजना पड़ेगा उसको.
किसी डिस्को में
Oh my God.
जाएं, किसी होटल
Because,
में
oh.
खाएं, कोई देख लेना हमें यहाँ
रवीना ये सुन
कहीं
लेगी तो क्या
ढूंढ
होगा
के
उसका?
लाए हम, कहीं इश्क लड़ाएं, चलो इश्क लड़ाएं, चलो इश्क लड़ाएं सनम।
Oh my God, I can't play this again. This is an affront.
ये सेंड डायरेक्टली टू अभिजीत, वो अपना बवासीर करते करते देखेगा।
छी,
कहाँ क्या क्या
साला
करते रहता
बेसुरा।
है ये बंदा यार।
ये तो बहुत अच्छा है। This is so apropos for America. Me in 2030 being executed for still being the gender I was born.
Death
Oh my
penalty.
goodness.
सीधे death penalty.
मर
You
जा
still a
तू।
male? Death penalty.
शर्म नहीं आई तुझे आदमी बनते हुए?
शर्म आनी चाहिए।
Oh man, that's so funny.
Disgusting. Yeah.
That's so true though, especially
ऐसे
in
आदमी को तो जेल
California.
ही होनी चाहिए।
Especially in California, it's so weird.
कैलिफोर्निया में
This
तो
this
यार
state is
बिल्कुल।
so weird. You know, I meet people, they say off the record they're very uncomfortable with this gender ideology concept creep,
हाँ।
and then they don't want to talk about it on the
बोल
record.
फटते, अरे यार every single any company that they work for, अभी सब प्राइड फ्लैग लगा लगा के सब लोग घूम रहे हैं। Obviously they're
Starbucks
scared to
आजकल,
stay
Starbucks
anything.
का प्राइड मंथ चालू है आजकल।
हाँ, अरे
Starbucks का प्राइड
स्टार
मंथ।
सबका चालू। The funniest thing was there was a pride parade and there was a Lockheed Martin flag जिसमें प्राइड फ्लैग लगा हुआ था। Lockheed Martin प्राइड मना रहा है। साला मिडिल ईस्ट पे मुसलमानों पे बम गिराते हैं और यहाँ पे प्राइड मना रहे हैं।
अरे उनका प्योर एंड पायस है।
प्योर एंड पायस है भैया, क्या बात है।
No, I don't care if you want to have a Pride month, but as long as look, I have to open supporter of same-sex marriage also. But the point is, यार मेरे को तो ये सब comedy लगता है. It is all performative. It's not soul deep. It's just skin deep.
It's not, obviously. A lot,
It's not
at
soul
least
deep.
from the company. See, I have no problem. I'm a big supporter of Pride, यार जिसको जो करना है, have you sleep with anyone you want. How do I give a shit?
And the best part
How
of
does it
being in
matter to me?
California is, and not giving a fuck about repercussions, is you can say anything you want to, and everybody around you is like, "Ah, ये बोल दिया."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's just funny to watch companies do that, because the same companies that will, जैसे Disney को देख लो, Disney will censor out any LGBTQ content in the Middle East and in China, but they are the ones that push LGBTQ stuff the strongest in America. That's the hypocrisy that we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, this one is really funny. So Elon Musk tweeted, looking to hire a VP of witchcraft and propaganda.
She lives in future. अरे माता जी को नया जॉब मिलने वाला है, बधाई
माता
हो।
जी, मैं आपके शहर में आ रहा हूँ अगले महीने।
बधाई हो माता जी को, नई नौकरी
माता
मिलने
जी को
वाली
मिलने
है।
आ रहा हूँ मैं अगले महीने उनके शहर में। मैं उनका टी शर्ट पहन के घूमूंगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। होपफुली वो आपके वेन्यू के बाहर आके प्रोटेस्ट करेंगी।
Dismantling Hindutva forces.
Dismantling Hindutva, yaar. We have to dismantle Hindu society.
ये क्या है? ज्ञान की गंगा बह रही है आजकल। अच्छा, क्या ज्ञान बह रहा है भाई?
क्या है ज्ञान की गंगा भाई?
भाई देखें, बहुत ज्ञान मिल रहा है आजकल।
तेरे भाई तुम्हारे आस पड़ोस का तुम्हारे दोस्त लोग कैसे बोलते हैं, ऐसी गाली देते हैं। उनकी गाली देखो ऐसे 3 से 4 शब्द की रहती है। पहला होता है प्रोनाउन, तेरी। यहाँ पर अब ये नाउन में कोई तो रिश्ता रहेगा, भाई बहन माँ पिता कुछ तो रहेगा। फिर यहाँ पर एक कारक आ जाता है, ओके। फिर यहाँ पर कोई बॉडी पार्ट आ जाता है जो कि फिर नाउन रहेगा, ओके। तो भाई गाली भी दे रहा है ना, तो एकदम ग्रामेटिकल भाषा में दे रहा है। तेरे भाई की, तेरे माँ,
भाई तुम्हारे हाथ, तेरे माँ की, तेरे बहन।
करेक्ट है, टेक्निकली करेक्ट है, टेक्निकली करेक्ट है।
ये कौन सा, ये अन अकेडमी है क्या? ये कौन है भाई साहब? कहाँ पढ़ाते हैं ये कोचिंग?
ये जो भी है, मेरे को इनकी कोर्स
लेनी है। इनका नाम दिनेश गुरु है अपेरेंटली।
नहीं, मैं इनका कोर्स लूंगा।
दिनेश गुरु से तो कोर्स लेना पड़ेगा। ये अगर ऐसे सिखाएंगे तब तो यार सीरियसली सीखना पड़ेगा कुछ. दिनेश गुरु.
I loved this. I loved this. What a lovely explanation.
तेरी बहन की तेरी माँ की.
अरे ये ले, ये तो तूने यही बोला था ना, corporate Twitter account during June. Their Middle Eastern account.
Exactly. Yeah, I have to share this. This is great. किसका शेयर है ये? किसने डाला
ये
ये?
Nish Armstrong and Pratim Gautam too. मैंने retweet भी किया इसको.
ये बहुत बढ़िया है. This is wonderful. This is exactly what I'm talking about. कि हमको प्राइड से प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये जो कंपनीज बकचोदी करती है ना, और जो ये इंटेलेक्चुअल सारे गालियां देते हैं दूसरों को कि अरे प्राइड ये प्राइड वो, इधर तो प्राइड में ये होता है. लाइक द सेम पीपल, लाइक दिल्ली प्राइड परेड जब भी होती है, एक आपको दिख जाएंगे, मतलब you'll find a few examples कि अरे रेनबो ओवर सैफरन, हिंदू फंडामेंटलिज्म को डिस्ट्रॉय करना है, you know, मोदी मर जाए and all those kinds of things. भैया एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जब सेम सेक्स मैरिज होगा ना, उसके पीछे देखना सबसे पहले आरएसएस टाइप के ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आके खड़े होंगे. अभी नहीं खड़े हो रहे हैं, आई एग्री, और उनको गालियां पड़नी भी चाहिए, बट जब होंगे तो सबसे पहले वही होंगे. देख लेना.
ये नेक्स्ट वाला और भी अच्छा. I think this is the bravest piece of journalism that I have seen in a long time. And we appreciate this journalist of Republic Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to show you
what this is.
is the bravest person on planet Earth. Notice the heels. And now.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, heels पहनी है. How is she balancing the
मैडम
heels?
संभालिए.
संभालिए मैडम.
अरे मैडम.
रिपब्लिक भारत.
चप्पल लेके. अरे इतनी तेज हवा में फिर भी मैनेज कर रही है. Oh
Oh my
shit.
God.
Oh. जैसे ये हालात हो सकते हैं.
Ladies, can you
She almost
appreciate
fell over
this
that
woman wearing heels?
भैया इतनी बाढ़ में, इतनी तेज बारिश में हील पहन के,
Heel
not
pehn-
a hair out of place. It's kind of incredible how she managed it.
I appreciate
And putting her life at risk like this.
Yes.
You know, अपनी
mean,
जिंदगी
then
इस तरह
then
से
she's
दांव
going-
पे, सिर्फ जर्नलिज्म के लिए. You know, we give a lot of shit to journalists, but this needs to be
This
commended.
is real journalism. You
You know,
hate
the
us.
way they put their lives at risk just to present us with weather news. इसमें हमको
बेस्टा
interest ही
एथीस
नहीं है.
क्रिस्टा ने लिखा था, ये देखने के बाद तो बिपर जॉय अपना रास्ता मोड़ लेगा. Oh man, Indian journalism.
Better than NB. Ben Grills. Ben Grills. Ben Grills.
अरे राम.
शाबाश मैडम, शाबाश.
वो क्या होता है जिसको
Salute
मेथड
यार.
एक्टिंग बोलते हैं. आप जब मेथड एक्टिंग होती है ना,
Method
आप वो
acting.
उसके अंदर चले जाते हो,
हम्म.
रोल के अंदर. तो आप जब एंकर होते हो ना, जब आपको बाढ़, आपको तूफान की बात करनी होती है, तो आपको वो रोल को लिव करना होता है.
Exactly.
अभी अगर अंडर वाटर होएगा तो क्या करेंगे?
वही कर, सिर्फ वही रह गया, सिर्फ वही रह गया. बस स्विमिंग की एक्टिंग करनी रह गई थी. बस स्विमिंग की एक्टिंग करनी चाहिए थी थोड़ी सी.
Yes,
मतलब एक तरफ
I-
वाकिन फिनिक्स है जो जोकर के लिए मेथड एक्टिंग करता है, और दूसरी तरफ ये मैडम है. बस दो ही लोग हैं.
अच्छा, किसी ने ये शीतल पुत्र ने भेजा है, आनंद सर ये आप क्या कर रहे हो? अच्छा आनंद क्या कर
रहा है भाई?
आनंद क्या कर रहा है तू? आनंद सुहाग रात को भी पढ़ाएगा, स्कोर 100 परसेंटाइल, जी 2020 45
अच्छा
days
नाम है सुहाग सर, तो
हाँ।
it is सुहाग रात को भी पढ़ाएगा. That's what he's saying. अरे क्या बात है.
हाँ, सर आप
सर।
या तो अपना नेम चेंज करो या रात को मत पढ़ाओ.
ये बढ़िया है. I like this. This is clever marketing.
और ये साला इसने क्यों लिखा आनंद सर यार?
He looks a little bit like Anand. He does look
आनंद
a
बोलेगा
little bit like
"मुझे
Anand.
तोड़ा, मुझे क्यों तोड़ा? बेचारा आनंद.
He does look a little bit like Anand. सुहाग रात को भी पढ़ाएगा. शाबाश, शाबाश. ये
Wow,
बढ़िया है. This is
bro.
good marketing. I support this marketing.
I am impressed. I am impressed.
Done.
This
Well
video
done.
is the greatest contribution of Punjabi culture I know it's across the border, but still, I think this is this is Punjabiyat at its peak. Oh my God. The commentary of the gentleman. Only a Punjabi can appreciate this art. So I present to you.
ये कोई टिकटॉक वीडियो बना रहे हैं.
जिंदर वो कुड़ी है वजह पुत्रो पाकिस्तान का नाम रोशन करन चेक करो जी ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕਰਨ ਚੱਲੇ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਭੈਣ ਜੋ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਅਬੂ ਜ਼ਬੀ ਕੋਈ ਦੁਬਈ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਮੂਵੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਡਾਂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਇਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਹੈ ਵਜਹ ਟੌਨ ਟਾਣ ਆ ਬੜਾ ਡਾਂਸ ਕੋਈ ਪੈੜੀਆਂ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਜਨਾਬ ਕੋਈ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੱਚਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ ਸਹੀ ਜੇ
कोई नचने वाली
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੌਰ ਹੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੈ ਡਾਲਰ ਭੈਣ ਜੋ 300 350 ਦਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਤੇ 7000 ਦਾ
$300
जिंदर वो कुड़ी है वजह पुत्रो
Kudiya chaveda putra.
क्या? What is he saying? What is he saying?
इंडिया
He's
का
basically
मुकाबला
calling them
समंदर दे कोई
dickheads.
अबू ज़बी कोई दुबई इंग्लैंड कनाडा मूवियां बनाते हैं डांस करते हैं ये कुड़ी है वजह टॉन टाण आ गए
ये क्या बोला? ये क्या बोला?
ये कोई जगह नचने वाली है
ਇਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੱਚਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ.
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੌਰ ਹੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੈ ਡਾਲਰ ਭੈਣ ਜੋ 300
ਚੰਗਾ ਡਾਲਰ ਭੈਣ ਚੋ 300 ਹੋ ਗਿਆ.
7000 ਦਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ
$300 का 50 का हो गया. ये बैठ के नाच रहे हैं यहाँ पे.
बहुत अच्छा लगा. दिल खुश हो
बहुत
गया था मेरा ये देख के. मैं बहुत तबीयत से हंसा था इसको देख के. What a great one.
शाबाश.
अच्छा अभी दूसरा देखें. ये वाला मैंने नहीं देखा.
बेन स्टोक्स.
ये क्या है?
जैसे बहुत लोग होते हैं कि नेता बनना चाहते हैं, कुछ और बनना चाहते हैं. आप आईएएस
Literally me.
बनकर क्या करना चाहेंगे बेटा?
अपने देश को नंबर 2 पर ले जाएंगे,
नंबर 2 पर? नंबर 1 पर क्यों नहीं?
क्योंकि वो मेरा सपना
जैसे बहुत लोग होते हैं कि नेता बनना चाहते हैं, कुछ और बनकर क्या करना चाहेंगे बेटा?
अपने देश को नंबर 2 पर ले जाएंगे,
नंबर 2 पर? नंबर 1 पर क्यों नहीं?
क्योंकि वो मेरा सपना.
जैसे बहुत लोग होते हैं.
बच्चा मस्त है. ये बच्चा मस्त है. एकदम रियलिस्टिक गोल्स ब्रो.
अरे यार ले तो रहा है सबसे ज्यादा रोहित शर्मा की, इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम की ले.
एकदम रियलिस्टिक गोल्स ब्रो. I don't want to be number 1. I want to be number 2.
इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम ना और इंग्लिश फुटबॉल टीम में बहुत सिमिलैरिटीज हैं क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज या तो इंग्लिश फुटबॉल टीम के पास है और इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम के पास है, एटलीस्ट क्रिकेटिंग दुनिया में. उसके बावजूद भी ये साले 10 साल से कोई ट्रॉफी नहीं जीते हैं एक बार भी. सेम विद द इंग्लिश फुटबॉल टीम. ये लोग भी साले द लास्ट टाइम दे वन द वर्ल्ड कप वाज इन 1966. They've only won it once.
और इट्स
So
कमिंग
very
होम,
lots
इट्स
of
कमिंग होम
similarities.
गांडू के जैसे गाना
ये
गाते रहते
पिछले
हैं.
40 साल से यही गाना चल रहा है इनका. It's coming home. ये अंग्रेज वाले जो लोग हैं ना ये साले वो दे आर द व्हाइट वर्जन ऑफ मौका बेसिकली.
हाँ बेसिकली नहीं, मगर आरसीबी भी सीख रही है, ऐसे नहीं है.
It's true.
आरसीबी
दुख
भी
की बात है.
अंग्रेजों
F दबा
वाली
दीजिए आरसीबी के लिए.
है. यस ओके.
This was kind of satisfying.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, I am requiring men and
अच्छा ये
children.
टाइटैनिक है.
Are you kidding me?
It's 2022. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be treated equal to men. Well, this is how men are treated. Like
No, we don't. We just say that half the time. We don't actually believe in it.
Yeah, we do. Come on, we're just as capable as men are. Shut up! I identify as a man. Do you think I could open doors?
it's 2022, Rose. I wouldn't want to imply that you can't handle the ice cold water the same way a man could. I love 2022.
I love full
I
support.
love 2022.
Full support.
Full support. Yeah, we don't want to give people an idea that women can't handle ice cold water
Yes.
for several hours. I'm sure
Ciao.
they can.
Just kidding, girls. ये क्या है?
That was great.
Okay. Aryan invasion theory, Aryan migration theory, Aryan picnic.
वहीं पे this is where they're going to end up eventually. नहीं पिकनिक मनाने के लिए आए थे फिर वापस चले गए. शुरुआत तो इन्वेजन से हुई थी, फिर अब माइग्रेशन पे आ गए हैं, फिर पिकनिक पे आएंगे. I don't know what the next stage is going to be. What do you think stage is going to be after picnic theory?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't know what the next one is going to be. Aryan picnic. I like the Aryan picnic theory. कि नहीं ये तो बस पिकनिक मनाने के लिए आए थे, फिर वापस चले गए. I like that one.
ओके, सारे हो गए. अभी अभिजीत वाला कौन सा था तूने बोला?
अरे इसने तो he sent me the whole. उसने तो पूरा वीडियो डाल दिया ना. उसने तो वो भी नहीं डाला. एक सेकंड, किधर है? हाँ, उसने तो
क्योंकि मेरा
वीडियो डाला है.
व्हाट्सएप चल नहीं रहा है, पता नहीं.
अच्छा?
ये इस पे मेरे कंप्यूटर पे.
अच्छा, एनीवे कोई बात नहीं. चलो कोई क्वेश्चन ले लेते हैं. लेट्स सी. यार आई लव दिस फीचर. ये जो साला स्टार्ट मैसेज का जो फीचर है ना यार, सीरियसली आई लव इट. वेल डन स्ट्रीम यार्ड. Should the Hindu community initiate the Upanayan Sanskar for all the Varnas as it used to occur in ancient India? Do you think this could help in further uniting Hindus? यार ये तो करना ही चाहिए.
होता भी है, आरएसएस में तो होता है.
आरएसएस में तो होता भी है. वीर सावरकर started this practice at least अपनी personal capacity में. Used to organize Upanayan Sanskars for all castes. भी चाहिए. Why should Upanayan Sanskar be limited to one caste? ऐसा क्या उखाड़ रहे हैं वो लोग जो एक कास्ट को या एक या दो कास्ट या तीन कास्ट को अलाउड होना चाहिए? ऐसा क्या स्पेशल है उपनयन संस्कार में जो पूरी हिंदू सोसाइटी को नहीं मिलना चाहिए? तो स्टूपिड आइडिया टू बिगिन विथ. इसको either all caste should do it, वरना क्या फायदा? Can you guys comment on the political parties paying young people a salary like regular job to encourage young people to join active politics in India? Is this a suggestion या फिर ये actually हो रहा है? Like, is this actually happening? Political parties are paying salaries to young people?
High-end karyakartas are given certain facilities by political parties, but the average karyakarta is not. No political party does.
उसको तो मिलता नहीं है.
नहीं, किसी को नहीं मिलता.
This is a very good question. What should the opposition actually do? I think this is a very good question.
The opposition should actually focus on. वो opposition का काम है. मैं क्यों बोलूं? मैं तो बीजेपी वोटर हूं.
I mean, what's his name? अरे उड़ीसा का कौन है यार? बीजू जनता दल. Biju Janata Dal has set a decent template. Like, I feel like they're a good opposition party. You don't have to agree with everything they do or say, but I think the work that they have done in Odisha, particularly when it comes to
but
promoting
they have
hockey,
something to show, right? What does Congress have to show?
Exactly.
The Congress model has always been they're not good enough. Yeah, but good enough in what? They don't say. They say they spread hate. Well, Congress also spreads hate. So there's nothing real. See, there's barely anything that distinguishes BJP and Congress, honestly, at a political level. There's barely a few things. You can leave out a few cultural issues here and there. What does the Congress and BJP differ in?
Yeah.
Economically, though, barely anything. History mein, they will remove Savarkar. Like Congress came back to power in Karnataka, they immediately removed Savarkar and Hegdewar. BJP will not do such things, so there will be a criticism. Dekha, Congress ne immediately aake change kar diya. Well, the point is, then you want BJP to become like Congress, right? That's why you voted for BJP, so you get another Congress.
Yeah, I think what I like about parties like BJD is कि I don't have to agree with everything that it did, but जो BJD ने किया है hockey के लिए खासकर, like that government has done a lot for hockey. जिस तरह से Odisha में they've developed facilities, the way they promote hockey, it's really commendable. Really, really commendable. If you do a little bit of research on Naveen Patnaik and hockey and what he's done for it, it's really cool. I think ये World Cup हुआ था ना या अभी Odisha में, wasn't that the World Cup hockey का?
Yes.
Yeah, hockey का World Cup हुआ था, इतने अच्छे से organize किया था. The facilities are genuinely like really, really good. Like in terms of अगर India में कहीं और से compare करो, the facilities are really quite excellent. So yeah, I mean, I do respect that a lot. और क्या है? Don't you think people like Sagar didn't fact check Jack Dorsey because they want to play both sides? He's coming next month to India and will get all the high profile interviews. What can be India's real options here for people who spread propaganda, as we are not as rich as CN? Canada?
सागर इंडिया में पहली बार नहीं आया, इसके पहले भी बहुत बार आ चुका है. कौन से उसको हाई
Yeah.
प्रोफाइल इंटरव्यू मिले?
Hmm.
तुम लोगों को मालूम भी नहीं है वो कभी इंडिया में आता है.
Yeah.
Bhai,
Yeah, no,
he's
I
not
see,
playing to
again,
the Indian audience.
I have no
He's playing to
problem
the
if Sagar
Indian
gets
audience.
high profile interviews, but I do think that, you know,
I don't care if he gets them. My point is not that. My point is, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously, who
The
cares?
point that we're saying कि यार अरे interview मिलना चाहिए, interview करो, I have no problem. I'm just saying कि when you can see a verifiable, then just call it out.
The point is simple. An American will not come to me for commentary on American politics. The American should not go to Sagar for commentary on Indian politics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. Don't you think 70% of these Indian intellectuals are accredited by the West because they take an anti-India stand? Yeah,
No.
of course.
No, I don't think so. I
The-
actually don't think so. There is
The
no...
universities, जो यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जहां पे इन लोगों को इतना स्पेस मिलता है, नौकरियां मिलती हैं, पैसे मिलते हैं, ग्रांट्स मिलते हैं, a lot of them are specifically chosen for the kind of material that they write and for the kind of
वो
opinions that they
ठीक
have.
है, मगर it's not just that. I believe it is more subconscious than that. They genuinely only allow left-wing people, and all left-wing people will only say the same thing. It is not that the criteria is you have to be anti-India. The criteria is you have to be left-wing. So let us not confuse the two. It just happens to be that left-wing is become anti-India now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was not always anti-India.
Yeah.
Because BJP is also left-wing. They're not anti-India.
Now that Raga went to the White House, do you think Modi should also meet Trump secretly during his US tour? Otherwise, Kattar Hindu will accuse Modi of being a sellout for all the
jail
praise by
mein.
the US government. अरे यार, जितना हिंदू कट्टर हिंदू है ना, उससे भी ज्यादा हिंदू को inferiority complex है. So they will always put a higher premium on praise by Americans than Hindutva. Basically. अमेरिका से तारीफ मिल जाए, that will always be placed higher than कट्टर हिंदुत्व for a lot of Hindus. This is true. It's very unfortunate, but it is true.
Prime Minister Modi should do what is in Indian interests. Prime Minister Modi, unlike the Americans, should not bother about what Trump or Biden does. And every time the Americans try to comment on our politics, we should categorically tell them to shove their words up where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we start becoming like them. The whole point is, it is idiotic to do it in the first place. If by
Did Rahul Gandhi actually go to the White House?
I don't know, man.
I don't
गया
even
भी
know- I
होएगा
didn't
तो
even
क्या
know
फर्क
this
पड़ता है
happened.
यार? Do you really think they look? Indo-American relations are very stable at best or worst, whatever you want to look at it. They just go the same way, and they have always under Congress or BJP. Indian foreign policy इतना change नहीं होती है. अच्छा, राहुल गांधी को मैं कोई praise नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मगर even when Rahul Gandhi was asked about the Russia question, what was his answer? He said, my stand would be the same as the BJP. He did say that.
Yeah.
Even हमारा पप्पू ने भी यही बोला. So ऐसा
Yeah.
है कि ठीक है, अभी it has come to a point where because they cannot beat Modi politically in India at the national level, they are doing these frustrated tactics and let them. And because America में क्या है, the discourse के ऊपर grip is of the far left and the far right. So वो problem create करता है. But I think sometimes you just have to learn to ignore a few things as an Indian government. The Indian government can't be reacting to every single post and comment made on social media because उसने ये बोला मेरे को बुरा लगा, अब तू उसको सुना ताकि मेरे को अच्छा लगे. I think the
Yeah.
Indian government should be bigger than that.
Another thing I think also that needs to be said is that at least at the highest level, in America's policy towards India has been favorable to at least consistent over the last few years. like जबरदस्ती उन्होंने इंडिया को उंगली नहीं की है बहुत ज्यादा at the highest level when it comes to the whole Russia thing. Like the kind of stand that they have taken against a lot of countries when it comes to their relationship with Russia, they haven't necessarily taken the same stand with India. They've always come out and said ki we understand they have a relationship with Russia for a lot of decades, and at that point we were not able to become a good partner, but right now we're ready to become a better partner. So at least highest level pe utni consistency rahi hai.
America is never a friend for rough times. America needs India because they need us to do something about China. It is up to India to do what it has to do. America and India, all foreign policy at its core is nothing but transactionalism. I have said this multiple times. I'm saying it again. This is a transactional relationship every country has with the other. In this transactional period, it is India's job to extract the most out of America, and it is America's job to extract the most out of India. Whatever is convenient will be done. Sometimes they will get more. On some deals, we will get more. बाकी ये सब जो साइड कमेंट्री होती है, like the American ambassador keeps doing these trips everywhere. It's so fucking cringe, man. I mean, क्या कर रहा है तू यार इधर घूम रहा है?
अरे यार, let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. The general population loves that shit. Loves that shit. They're eating it up. अरे गोरा आके हमारी इतनी तारीफ कर रहा है. Oh my God, मजा आ गया. The general population loves that shit.
So fucking stupid.
आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है. We find it cringe. Yeah, we find it cringe because it's very patronizing. Oh my God, what a wonderful country you have. अच्छा, thanks for telling us. मुझको तो पता ही नहीं था. मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं था हमारी country अच्छी है. मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं पानी पूरी अच्छी है. I never knew. Now I'm going to go try pani puri because some Gora came and tried it.
Fucking stupid, man.
It's stupid, but fucking general population loves that shit.
Yeah,
Reaction channels
good
इतने
for
बड़े
them.
क्यों है यार? That's why. That's why YouTube reaction channels are so huge.
Yeah.
Because Indians love that shit. They eat it up. Let's see. Kya hai question? Do you think right pro-Hindu conservatives would be as aggressive as they are because of retaliation against liberal media?
I don't even understand this question.
As aggressive? How are they aggressive? Like in what way are they aggressive that other political sides
Like I
are
said,
not as aggressive?
मुझे question ही नहीं समझ में आया.
ऐसा कोई extra aggressive तो है भी नहीं. I mean, they might feel more angry or they might defend more stuff because उनके culture को 70 सालों से इतनी गालियां पड़ रही हैं. But that part I suppose I can understand. Don't you think some BJP voters are having second thoughts about BJP because of accusations by the right wing in social media that BJP has abandoned Hindutva? Yeah, let me just say one thing. I want you to come in on this, Kushal, as well. But let me just say one thing. This is a very interesting allegation that is made by a lot of people that social media pe kuch trend karana means something actually happening on the ground. A Twitter trend does not equal something actually happening on the ground. Sometimes it can, but a lot of times it really does not. Let me give you a very, very prominent recent example. जब पठान फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी, it trended heavy social media. पठान बहुत ट्रेंड हुआ था. 3-4 हैशटैग्स ट्रेंड हुए थे. बॉयकॉट शाहरुख खान, बॉयकॉट पठान, पठान इज एंटी हिंदू, पठान इज एंटी इंडिया, ऑरेंज बिकिनी दिखाई है, भगवा बिकिनी दिखाई है, बॉयकॉट करो इसको. What happened? What happened? Did Pathan flop? It was one of the biggest hits of the whole year. One of the biggest hits of the whole year. So a social media trend does not a boycott make. Let's be very clear about that. So some handles saying कि BJP has abandoned Hindus does not mean that the general population also thinks the same way.
बीजेपी ने इतना हिंदुओं को अबैंडन कर दिया था कि कांग्रेस के टाइम पे कम्युनल वायलेंस बिल आ गया था. इतना अबैंडन हो गई थी हिंदू कम्युनिटी को. अगर बीजेपी पावर में नहीं आती तो कश्मीर फाइल्स नहीं आती. बीजेपी पावर में नहीं आती तो 72 हुरे जो पिक्चर आ रही है वो नहीं आती. बीजेपी पावर में नहीं आती तो केरला स्टोरी नहीं आती.
केरला स्टोरी नहीं बनती.
बीजेपी पावर में नहीं आती तो जो तुम जो मुस्टंडो के जैसे ट्वीट कर रहे हो ना, ये वो भी नहीं होता.
भूल जाओ.
अगर तो ये सब बकवास करना बंद करो और
राम मंदिर भूल जाओ.
ना क्रिटिसाइज करना है, क्रिटिसाइज करो, मगर कोई प्रपोर्शन में करो। बेवकूफों के जैसे बेवकूफाना बातें कम किया करो, और अगर करते हो तो अपने मन में करो, मुझे मत बोलो।
नहीं
मुझे
ठीक
बहुत
है, करना है
irritate
करो,
करता
बट यू जस्ट टेल मी कि ठीक है, बीजेपी हैज अबैंडन्ड हिंदूज, व्हाट इज द पार्टी दैट हैजंट, व्हाट इज द पार्टी दैट जो बिल्कुल हिंदू हित
है। No,
में
but
काम
how
कर
has
रही
it
है?
abandoned Hindus, यार?
नहीं
How
नहीं
has it
मेरे को
abandoned
गिव मी
Hindus?
एन ऑल्टरनेटिव, व्हाट इज अ पार्टी जो हिंदू हित में बहुत मेहनत कर रही है? जस्ट टेल मी दैट, कौन कर रहा है? कौन सी पार्टी है जो हिंदू कर रही है? डीएमके? इज इट
नहीं, और
ममता बनर्जी?
नहीं, first
इज
of
इट
all, people have
केजरीवाल?
to define what is Hindu hit. I mean, on the temple freedom issue, I definitely have my reservations. I
Yeah.
used to be full on temple freedom, but after looking at some of the speakers who speak in favor of temple freedom and their casteist tendencies, not all, but some, I am very wary of something like
Yeah,
that.
but uska, that also has an easy fix, na? That the temples should be monitored. They shouldn't be controlled. उनका पैसा government programs में नहीं जाना चाहिए. उनका पैसा give to the community to manage. जो लोग जो temple को manage कर रहे हैं,
लॉ
उनको खर्चा
कमीशन ने
करना
अभी
चाहिए.
यूनिफॉर्म
लेकिन
सिविल कोड लाया, तो
हाँ.
अभी का रिकमेंडेशन मांगी है। अरे और क्या चाहिए तुमको? 370 बॉस, तुम्हारे क्या थे वो मुझे नहीं मालूम। बीजेपी के मैनिफेस्टो में बीजेपी ने क्या क्या लिखा था, बीजेपी वो कर रही है कि नहीं, वो मैटर करता है। बीजेपी ने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में क्या क्या चीजें लिखी थी और क्या वो कर रही है। और शाम, मैंने तेरे को कभी बोला था यूसीसी आने वाला है, याद है ना? मैंने तेरे को बोला था यूसीसी आएगा, कम से कम 6 महीने पहले मैंने तेरे को बोला था यूसीसी आएगा, और मॉनसून सेशन में ये लोग नहीं लाएंगे, मॉनसून या विंटर सेशन में लाएंगे, और बीजेपी ट्राई करेगी। अब ये बोल दो ऐसे क्यों किया, वैसे क्यों। अरे तो तुम क्या चाहते हो यार? तुम चाहते क्या हो साले? अब द बीजेपी इज नॉट गोइंग टू हेट मुस्लिम्स, मुस्लिम्स आर पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. It doesn't mean Muslims might vote for BJP, and so be it. They're citizens of this country. They can vote for whatever they want to. But the BJP will bring the uniform civil code.
अरे यार, हम लोग राम मंदिर को आज इतना लाइटली लेते हैं. आई जस्ट रिमेंबर 4-5 साल पहले क्या हालत थी. पीपल वर कन्विंस्ड कि उनके लाइफ टाइम में उनको राम मंदिर नहीं दिखने वाला, एंड इट्स गोइंग टू बी ब्लडी रेडी नेक्स्ट ईयर. अगले साल बनके तैयार होने वाला है, आरती होने वाली है वहां पे. तो लेट्स हैव अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ पर्सपेक्टिव. आई थिंक क्रिटिसिज्म कंप्लीटली जायज है यार, बहुत बिल्कुल जायज है, क्रिटिसाइज करना भी चाहिए. बट ये बोलना कि हिंदुओं को पूरी तरह से अबैंडन कर दिया गया है,
हाँ, अबैंडन कर दिया है. और मैं बोलता हूँ ना, अच्छा है कांग्रेस को पावर में लाओ और कम्युनल वायलेंस बिल लाओ, और ये सारे हिंदुओं को जाना चाहिए.
आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी स्टूपिड.
सारे हिंदुओं को जेल में जाएंगे ना, तभी इन उल्लू के पट्टों को चैन मिलेगा, गधे कहीं के.
एग्जैक्टली. अब सब जगह ममता बनर्जी का राज चाहिए ना. यू वांट एवरी स्टेट टू बी लाइक.
और इसके पहले कि कोई रिएक्शन दे, अरे बीजेपी ये बिल लाएगी, वापस लेगी. ए भाई, लास्ट 10 साल में कितने बिल आए, कितने वापस लिए गए? एक लैंड रिफॉर्म, एक फार्मर प्रोटेस्ट, बताओ. बाकी 370 वापस लेगी, देख लेना. बीजेपी 370 वापस लेगी. क्या लिया? कुछ लिया? कुछ हुआ? कितने सारे बिल पास हुए? कुछ हुए? बैंक्रप्सी एंड इंसॉल्वेंसी कोड आया, कुछ हुआ? रेरा आया, कुछ हुआ? बीजेपी को जो बिल पास करना होता है वो करती है, और एट द एंड ऑफ द डे देयर आर सम बैटल्स यू विन, सम बैटल्स you lose. So this argumentation is so flawed, because, and I knew it, just when Shaheen Bagh and farmers protest happened, I knew every time, everything. After Shaheen Bagh and farmers protest, how many bills has BJP introduced and how many have been taken back? कोई statistical analysis बताओ उसका. क्या बकवास चालू है? अच्छा ठीक है, आपको दिमाग से बात करनी नहीं आती, तो यार बिना दिमाग के बात तो ना करो ना. And it doesn't mean BJP will not take certain policies back in the future. They may. But it doesn't mean that everything is not going to be passed. For example, CA अभी तक नोटिफाई नहीं हुआ है, मगर क्या पाकिस्तान से हिंदू आने बंद हुए हैं? चेक करो, जाके चेक करो डेटा, अभी भी आ रहे हैं. और उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, मगर इंडिया में हर चीज में प्रॉब्लम्स है यार. तुम क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हो? और अगर तुमको लगता है कि बीजेपी इतनी बुरी है, तो लाओ ना कांग्रेस को. तुमको कौन रोक रहा है लाने को? कांग्रेस को लाओ ना उनको.
but they're still voting for the BJP. वोट तो फिर भी बीजेपी को ही दे रहे हैं ना नेशनल इलेक्शन में.
अरे चूतिया के जैसी बात करते हैं यार लोग. मतलब ऐसे 24 घंटे का ना रोना धोना लेके लाना, चूतिया डिस्कोर्स है इतना ये.
criticism और abandon कर दिया हिंदूज को. I think there's a very fine line, very clear line between those.
क्रिटिसाइज करो, जैसे मैंने
Yeah.
किया एवोल्यूशन के केस में, घटिया डिसीजन था.
Yeah.
जैसे वो बीच में एक पॉलिसी आ गई थी टीसीएस के ऊपर 20% चार्ज लगाने को, सारे बीजेपी सपोर्ट बेस ने
सबने क्रिटिसाइज किया था यार.
कितना
आधा
criticize
घंटा
किया
हमने
था?
लगाया था पॉडकास्ट पे, यहाँ अभिजीत और कौशल गाली दे रहे थे.
फिर अरे कोई
Yeah.
सेंसिबल पॉलिसी बेस्ड क्रिटिसिज्म करो ना, सिर्फ एंटी हिंदू है. अरे कैसे है?
Is still not over WTC final, इसलिए सबको आंसर में बड़ा पॉडकास्ट पे निकाल रहे.
बड़ा फ्रस्ट्रेट हुआ था मैं उसकी वजह से. साले हरामखोर हार गए.
साला हद है
बड़ा
यार,
मैं
शर्म
आज
की
भी
बात
बड़ा
है.
फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हूँ.
Yeah.
अभी एशेस में मेरे को चैन मिले अगर इंग्लैंड हरा दे इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया वालों को.
Why are European nations, ये last वाला लेते हैं, why are European nations afraid of taking crimes done by Muslim migrants, and are they fearing any sanctions like Indian administration? And it's a two-parter. Why don't we see anything against Pakistan or Bangladesh like India on Western media? So I think that these questions are related. Because Muslims are a protected category, according to at
Maybe,
least.
बट पाकिस्तान के तो बथेरे क्रिटिसिज्म के पीस आते हैं यार.
उसमें राइट विंग में आते हैं ना. आई डोंट थिंक
नहीं,
लिबरल
left wing
मीडिया
में
में
भी
उतनी.
और अभी बाइडेन गवर्नमेंट ने तो बांग्लादेश की डेमोक्रेसी में इंटरफियरेंस शुरू कर दिया डायरेक्ट. ये लोग क्या बात कर रहे हैं? मतलब ये कितना फैक्टलेस वर्ल्ड है. यहाँ पे
Yeah.
कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं हम. बाइडेन की गवर्नमेंट ने लिटरली स्टेटमेंट दी है बांग्लादेश के ऊपर, उधर तो उनकी गवर्नमेंट इंटरफियर कर रही है. क्या बोल रहे हो यार?
Yeah.
चेक कर लो. अगर मेरे ऊपर विश्वास नहीं करते हो, चेक देयर स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट का प्रेस रिलीज ऑन
Yeah.
बांग्लादेश एंड इट्स डेमोक्रेसी इन डेंजर. वो लोग बांग्लादेश को उन्होंने सैंक्शंस मारे हैं अभी बांग्लादेश के ऊपर.
I think the question might be related to sort of जो left wing media है, जो अक्सर they write 10 articles a day on India. वो पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश पे उतना क्यों नहीं लिखते हैं? And it's obviously very clear कि they are, like you said in the beginning of the podcast, Kushal, कि India is a very easy target. India को attack करने के repercussions नहीं होंगे. अगर if you start insinuating that Islamic fundamentalism might have something the poor state of Pakistan right now, then यार आपको सिर्फ पाकिस्तान से लात नहीं पड़ेगी, आपको मिडिल ईस्ट से लात पड़ेगी. आपको there are 56 countries that are going to shit on you, that are going to pull their funding potentially. So there are repercussions.
There are 2-3 answers to this. One, India does not have enough nuisance value. That is one part of the reason. Two, they only write about people who matter. I'm being very honest. But I mean, with as much due respect to Bangladesh and Pakistan, they don't matter. Honestly, they don't.
पाकिस्तान को, yeah.
नहीं, they don't.
बांग्लादेश को फिर भी ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट समझ में आता है, कुछ कर रहे हैं जिंदगी में.
हाँ, मतलब undue respect to Pakistan and due respect to Bangladesh.
Due respect to Bangladesh, exactly.
Yes, sorry, I correct myself. Undue respect to Pakistan and due respect to Bangladesh. देखो उनके ऊपर कमेंट करेंगे, क्या करेंगे वो लोग? मतलब वो अपनी हिंदी स्टाइल में बोलेंगे अरे ये तो है ही चूतिया करके काइंड ऑफ अ डिस्कशन. मतलब वो वाला डिस्कशन होता है. मगर पाकिस्तानी लॉबी मच स्ट्रॉन्गर है. पाकिस्तान स्पेंड्स अ लॉट मोर मनी ऑन लॉबिंग इन अमेरिका. इंडिया नहीं करती है. इंडिया को लगता है कि लॉबिंग इज बिलो देम. आई कैन कंफर्म दिस. इंडिया को ऑफर्स जाते हैं, आप पीआर करो, हम आपके लिए पीआर करते हैं अमेरिका में. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट मना करती है भैया. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को नहीं है इंटरेस्ट ये चीजों को करने में. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को लगता है मैं तुम्हारे ऊपर 200-300 करोड़ क्यों खर्चा करूं, तुमको पैसे दूं. मैं वैसे ही राइज कर रहा हूं, मेरी इकोनॉमी वैसे ही राइज कर
पैसा खर्चा करूं.
हाँ, तो
That is such an Indian outlook also. ये इतना इंडियन एटीट्यूड है ना. मैं क्यों करूं पैसा खर्चा, फ्री में करो. फ्री में क्यों नहीं करते पीआर मेरे लिए?
हाँ, तो बस इंडियंस की यही सोच है और वही मरे पड़े रहेंगे. और मैं नहीं इसको सपोर्ट करता. मेरे हिसाब से इंडिया को पीआर करनी चाहिए. इंडिया को इनको पैसे खिलाने चाहिए. इंडिया को प्लम पीसेस लिखवाने चाहिए थे, मगर इंडिया ने नहीं किया. अब नहीं किया तो नहीं किया. अब प्रॉब्लम ये हो रही है इन लोगों के लिए अमल में कि बिकॉज इंडिया हैज रिजन सो फास्ट टू द टॉप और अभी धीरे धीरे ऊपर आते जा रही है और ये आएगी ही ऊपर भैया, और कोई रास्ता नहीं है, हम सिर्फ ऊपर ही जाने वाले, नीचे जाने नहीं वाले हम लोग। और पाकिस्तान है कि वो ऊपर आने का नाम ही नहीं लेता, पाकिस्तान की हालत ऐसे करते रहती है,
हिला ले पाकिस्तान है भाई।
वो हिलाले पाकिस्तान ही करते जा रही है। तो पाकिस्तान की हालत यही रहेगी। तो अभी इनके जो एवरेज लोग हैं ना, वो लोग को भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि हम इतनी गाली देते हैं और पाकिस्तान की इतनी तारीफ करते थे हम लोग, तो ये तो चूतिया कंट्री निकली और ये तो आगे निकलते जा रहे हैं। तो क्या रीजन होगा इसका? तो वो लोगों के अंदर है ना, अभी वो विश्लेषण फेज चल रहा है, उनको चलने दो। इंडिया कुड हैव हेल्प्ड, इंडिया शुड हैव हेल्प्ड बाय टेलिंग देम ओके इनको सुनो, इनको सुनो, इनको सुनो, मगर इंडिया वो नहीं करता है। इंडियंस ऐसे ही हैं, इंडिया ऐसे ही रहेगा। वो भी चूतिए हैं।
इंडियंस चाहते हैं कि फ्री में करो, फ्री में करो यार, दिल लगा के फ्री में करो, पैसा क्यों चाहिए?
नहीं, वो भी चूतिए, इंडिया भी चूतिया, हम सब चूतिए, खुश रहो।
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a perfect time to note to end the podcast on. Guys, thanks again for watching. We'll be मेरे से इस हफ्ते मिस हो गया, but we're going to put on a Patreon podcast this sometime this next week. इस हफ्ते I got a little bit busy with, I had to record a couple of videos for the main channel, but ये अगला week मेरा more or less open है, so I'll record a Patreon podcast, me and Kushal, and we'll put it out towards the end of next week. So if you'd like to subscribe to the Patreon, link नीचे दिया हुआ है, go and subscribe. Other than that, if you like today's video, like, share, subscribe. दोस्तों के साथ share करो. If you enjoy watching this on your Thursday nights, and if you think your friends and family will also enjoy it, then go ahead and share it with them and recommend the show to them. We would really appreciate it. बाकी, we will see you for the next episode. तब तक के लिए, टाटा, bye bye, जय श्री राम.